Hello aspirants, this is Zahir and I welcome you back to SSBCrack exams. In this lecture, we shall be discussing the 30-day study plan for your GK section of your upcoming CDS examination. So let us begin without any further ado. So before beginning, let me tell you what this exam is all about. So the Combined Defence Service examination is conducted by UPSC twice a year for entries into Indian Military Academy, Indian Naval Academy, Air Force Academy and Officers Training Academies. So CDS written exam has three different tests, namely English, General Knowledge and Mathematics. So there are three papers for as far as the CDS exam is concerned, that is Elementary Mathematics, English and General Knowledge. And if you are writing specifically only for CDS OTA Officers Training Academy, then you will be having only two papers, that is English and General Knowledge. We have made a separate video regarding the syllabus as well as selection procedure. I would strongly suggest that you go and watch it once. So this is how the marking scheme of your CDS examination would look like. So for English section, there will be 120 questions for a total of 100 marks, each correct answer carrying 0.83 marks, and for every wrong answer minus 0.27 marks will be deducted. For General Knowledge, 120 questions for 100 marks, for every correct answer 0.83 marks, and for every wrong answer 0.27 marks will be deducted. And for elementary mathematics section also, there are 100 questions, but here the total marks are also 100, but for every correct answer you get 1 mark, and for every wrong answer 0.33 marks. So totally the number of questions in all the three papers would be 340, and for total marks would be 300. So in this video, I'll be discussing with you the 30-day study plan for the GK section. So for the rest of the subjects, there are specified videos as far as question paper analysis and study plans are concerned. I would strongly suggest that you go and watch that also. So components of CDS General Knowledge paper will consist of physics, chemistry, biology, geography, history, polity, economics, static general knowledge and defense specific related. So let us divide the syllabus and conquer it. So first of all, let us look at about physics. So on an average, 10 to 9 or 9 to 8 questions are being asked. You can see here the trends have been consistent, that 9, 8, 8, 10 or 8 questions have been coming from the section of physics. So going through that, even this attempt also, you can somewhere expect 9 to 10 questions coming from this section of physics, which can easily fetch you somewhere around 7.5 to 8.33 marks. So make sure that you are spending 3 hours per day. Make sure that you are religiously and meticulously following this schedule, because there are only 30 days left. So there is a lot of revision and there is a lot of reading which you have to do. So on the day 1, motion in straight line, motion in plane, loss of motion, work, energy and power, rotational motion, gravitation, solid mechanics and fluid mechanics shall be covered. Remember, all of these has to be read with intensive reading importance. So day 2 you will be reading thermodynamics, kinetic theory of gases, oscillation, waves and wave optics, electric charges and field, current, electricity, moving charges and magnetism. And on the day 3 you will be reading electromagnetic induction, electromagnetic waves, optic and optical instruments, and revision of full physics would be done on the day 3. So this will be a wrap up for your physics. And starting with chemistry, chemistry also consistently fetches you somewhere around 11 to 13 marks. You can look here in the past few years trends also, you can see consistently 11, 12 or 13, and even in 2019 CDS2 examination 18 questions were asked from this section alone. So going through the same trends this year also, you can expect somewhere around 12 to 14 questions coming from the CDS section, which can easily fetch you somewhere around 10 to 11 marks. So chemistry on the day for 3 hours per day will be more than enough, because you also have to read different subjects, other subjects also. So matter in our surrounding is matter around us, pure structures of atoms and molecules, chemical reactions and equations, acid, bases and salts would be enough. And on the day 5 you should be reading metals and non-metals, carbon compounds, classification of elements, basic chemistry, states of matter, revision of topics from whatever you have done till now. And on the day 6 you will be reading atomic structure, advanced, chemical bonding, thermodynamics, solution, equilibrium and redox reaction and electrochemistry. And on the day 7 you will be reading chemical kinetics, surface chemistry, metallurgy, hydrogen, S&P blocks, D and F blocks, coordination compounds, and you will be revising what all you have read on the day 7 itself. And on the day 8 you will be dealing with basic organic chemistry, hydrocarbon, haloalkynes, organic compound containing oxygen and nitrogen. You will also be revising them. And on the day 9 it should be a wrap up for chemistry, where you will be reading with polymers, biomolecules, environmental chemistry, chemistry in everyday life, miscellaneous chemistry, and you will also be revising that the same day itself. So moving towards biology, biology can also fetch you somewhere around 10 to 9 MCQs. So consistently in the past years also, you can see 9, 10, 11 questions have been asked from this section. So going through the same trend, you can expect somewhere around 10 to 11 questions coming from the biology section also, which can easily fetch you somewhere around 8.33 to 9.16 marks. So make sure that you are sticking on to the plan, and on the day 10, 3 hours per day, you'll be spending on biological classification, plant and animal kingdom, anatomy of flowering plants, respiration in plants, transportation of nutrients in plants, reproduction in plants, biomolecules, cell cycle, human digestive, human circulatory, and human excretory system. And on the day 11, you will be dealing with human muscular system, human nervous system, human hormones and integration, human reproductive system, the genes and inheritance, diseases, microbes in human welfare, ecosystem dynamics, biodiversity and environment, and revision of biology shall be done by a wrapping up of day 11 for your biology. And the next most important part is geography. The most amount of questions that come from any section in the entire CDS are from geography only. Here you can easily see 19, 23, 22, 21 questions have been asked consistently in the past previous years. So going through the same trend this year also, you can expect somewhere around 15 to 20 questions being asked from this section alone, which can easily fetch you somewhere around 15 to 20 marks. So don't ignore geography. So geography also 3 hours per day. Day 12, you'll be beginning with the geography, that is latitude, longitude, time zone, important states. I would strongly suggest that you have a map or a atlas in your room, study room, wherever you are studying. Make sure that you are having a physical and a political map of India as well as world. So whenever you are reading regarding any important places, you better go and map point them. So important boundaries and their names, physical features, the study of Himalayas, etc. Names and information of all states and coastal plains, major river tributaries and river drainage systems, etc. should be dealt on day 12 itself. Make sure that you're also reading with major industries, mineral locations and industries and historical cities are also important. Day 13, you will be dealing with agriculture, green revolution, etc. Factors causing pollution, global warming, climate change, etc. List of all major national parks, biodiversity hotspots of our country, UNESCO World Heritage Sites, major environmental and industrial summits and events, origins and interiors of the earth, etc. Formation of the rock, various famous volcanoes and various landforms. And on the day 14, various geomorphic processes like earthquakes, cyclones, volcanoes, etc. Pressure belts and wind waves, wind systems, ocean currents, waves and tides, about soil, afforestation, various grasslands, etc. Type of natural vegetations, types of forests, etc. Renewable and non-renewable energy resources, major biomes of the world, various types, migrations, towns, megacities, projects, etc. shall be considered on day 14, and this should be a wrap up for your entire geography. Moving towards history, apart from geography, if there is something which can fetch you a lot more of marks, it is history. So again, you can see here in the past year trends also 19, 22, 22, 17, 18 questions are continuously being asked. So going through the same trend, 18 to 20 questions can be asked from the section of history alone. So again, history on the day 15, you will be wrapping up the entire ancient India. You will be starting from ancient Indian history, Indus Valley civilization, Vedic age, Guptas and dynasties of medieval North India and dynasties of medieval South India. And by the end of this day, you also have to start the medieval Indian time frame. And day 16 will be dealing entirely with medieval India, Vijayanagara Empire, Mughals, Carnatic Wars, Anglo-Maratha Wars, stages of colonialism, introduction of East India Company, etc. shall be dealt on the day 16. And on the day 17, you shall begin the modern history, where you will be starting with the revolt of 1857. Then comes the INC sessions, the registration, establishment of INC, extremists versus moderates, Surat split, and then you will be coming at home rule movement. Then you will be coming at Gandhian phase, where you will be dealing with non-cooperation movement, quit India movement, civil disobedience movements, etc. You will also be dealing with rise of Muslim League, partition of India, and independence. On the day 18, make sure that you are reading about everything about Constituent Assembly, historical background of Constituent Assembly, industrialization and agricultural reforms with special emphasis on land reforms, policy of non-alignment, Panchashil, etc. also should be dealt here only. What all the wars we have fought with Pakistan and China, everything related to India's involvement and India's engagement with United Nations is also crucial. And complete revision of history is a must on the day 18. And going towards the Indian polity is again one of the most important aspect of your entire paper, where you can see in the past questions, past years also 18 consistently. 19 questions have been asked in the past years. So going through the same trend this year also, you can expect somewhere around 18 to 20 questions coming along from the polity itself, and this can also easily fetch you somewhere around 15 to 16 marks. So on the day 19, you will be dealing with beginning or starting of the Constituent Assembly and its preamble. You shall also be dealing with the Constitution, that is Union and its territory, citizenship, fundamental rights, important one, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policies, and fundamental duties are very much more important, followed by constitutional amendment, basic structure of constitution, and union executive. And day 20 should be a wrap up for your polity, where you will be reading with parliament, judiciary, state government, union territories and special areas, emergency provisions, center-state relations, local bodies, constitutional and non-constitutional bodies, miscellaneous, and a revision of all these topics should be done on the day 20 itself. And then comes economics, again one of the most important part. You can see here in the previous years also consistently 8, 10, 12 questions have been asked. Mostly number of questions in CDS 1 attempt have been asked a lot. So going through the same trend, he can ask you somewhere around 10 to 12 questions coming here, so which can easily fetch you somewhere around 8 to 10 marks. So make sure that there are 2 days you are keeping specifically for economics, because it is a vast subject which you have to cover. So microeconomics, macroeconomics, 5-year plans, planning commission, taxation in India, the recent economic development. I would suggest strongly that you go through the economic survey as well as the budget. Also inflation and related economic terms and international organizations, specifically like a World Bank, IMF, etc. would be more than enough. And then current affairs and static GK. Current affairs has been gaining a lot more of province and importance in the recent times. So make sure that you are keeping a tab on daily current affairs. You are reading a national level newspaper at least for 20 to 25 minutes and making running notes out of that. So here you can see in the past years also 19, 17, 16, 15 questions have been asked. Here you can see in 2018 CDS to 27 questions have been asked from current affairs and static GK alone. So going through that trend, this year also you can expect somewhere around 15 to 20 questions coming from this section alone, which can easily fetch you somewhere around 15 to 16 marks. So day 23, superlatives of the world, superlatives of India, that is highest and largest, etc. Indian space journey, ISRO and Department of Space, important art forms and cultures, which you will also be dealing in history itself, national institutions, important is national days of recognition, country capitals and currencies, so should be dealt in day 23. And on day 24 you should be dealing with superlatives of the world, international boundaries and their names, important cities and strategic locations, international days, international organizations and their headquarters. And finally, day 25 will be dealing with the different types of awards, that is Bharat Ratna, Nobel Prize, Military Gallantry Awards, movie related awards, awards related to books, famous books or works, famous news agencies and their editors or heads. And on day 26 you will be dealing with sports and everything related with sports, that is Olympics, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, Grand Slams, etc. Notable sports person and complete static GK revision has to be done on the day 26. Moving towards defense specific one, on an average you can expect here also 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 questions. You can see here consistently 3, 7, 9 questions have been asked from this. So it has been a very much irregular affair as far as defense specific is concerned. So here also you can somewhere around expect 5 to 8 or 8 to 10 questions. If your luck is really good, you can get somewhere around 8 to 10 questions that can easily fetch you somewhere around 6 to 8 marks. So day 27, you will be reading about the rank structures of all services, commands of all Indian Navy, commands of Indian Army, commands of Indian Air Force, military institutions and establishments, military drills, exercises and procurements. So these all will also be covered as far as your daily current affairs sessions are concerned. I strongly suggest that you attend them. So finally, on the last 3 days, day 28 and 29, you shall revise and take CDS mock test at SSBCrack exams. And on day 30, what you will be doing, you will be revising entirely what all subjects you have read till now, and also the mock test which you have given at SSBCrack exam. So this will be a wrap up for your 30-day study plan for the GK section of your upcoming CDS examination. So let me summarize you some important points. Make sure that you always make notes in a separate dedicated notebook. Restrict yourself for basic information and complete conceptual analysis. You need not dive deep in that. You are not there to do a research scholar work. You are there just to crack an examination. So you can follow this plan and always get back to us at support@SSBCrack exams in case you find any kind of difficulty or if face any kind of ambiguity. And I wish that each and every one of you come out with the flying colors, and I wish all the best for your upcoming CDS examination. Meet you in the next lecture. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you for watching my lecture. Jai Hind.